I'm Carson. Some of you know me, some of you don't. If you didn't, you do now. I'm Carson. It's crazy seeing people up here like Andrew and Trent. Like, I'm not really an athletic person, but like when I look at them, they're like bigger than me because they're in athletics and they have big muscles and I don't, you know? And it's crazy seeing like them coming up here and talking about their life stories and like what they've been through, and they're just like tearing up and they're crying, and it makes me want to cry because like I don't know, I don't really have much to tell like they do, but like I don't know if that's a bad thing or if it's a good thing, but still. When I was about 13, I just went to a church because I grew up that way. My mom went to church, my dad went to church. We just went to the same church our whole life with our grandparents, but I met some friends that lived down the street from me. They went to a different church. They were into music. I'm into music. We kind of clicked. I never went Wednesday nights. I didn't like people. I like people, but just not so much at one time. Like small groups, kind of. I like less people. But anyway, the church I went to had lots of people, and they invited me to their church Wednesday night, and I was like, I don't know. Wednesday night, not my deal. But I went with them, and like, I just met some people that didn't really know. And I kept going more and more, and eventually I turned 14, and I kept going to the same church. But then I met other friends that would come from other churches to not join the church, but visit, and I would meet those people, and I would go to the church with them. But you know, church was church to me. I was like Baptist, you know, all of them were Baptist usually, but still, I was just like, church is church, no big deal. But I didn't really have a relationship with God. And I wanted one, because I would look to the side, like when people are like worshiping, when the music's going on and happening, I'd just be standing there, looking at the words, you know, mighty to save, yeah. And like, I see people, and they'd be like, they have their hands up, and they'd be screaming the lyrics, and I was like, they're happy. I want to be like that. And I'd like, after service, I'd like go up to my youth pastor and I'd talk to him, and I'd always be like, I like that worship stuff. Like, you know, what is all that? And then they'd explain it to me. But eventually I just got tired of one church and I'd go to a different one. And I guess I would be called a church hopper? I don't know. But each church was like a family, and there's like people, like, we go to that church, and if I go back, they'll still be there. But, like, I need one family. And, like, music connected me with God. Like, I listen to death metal. But not all death metal is about the devil. A lot of it's Christian. Like, a lot of it, they're screaming about God. But I do listen to soft music, too. But, it connected me. And when I found out there was more music that was about God, I wanted to go. And I got into the praise band. I've only been in 2 praise bands, but I played bass in one, I played drums in another, but it connected me in a different way that I didn't know I could be connected. And I was truly happy. And then my friends, they were there to help me. One of them was there to drive me to church, but my parents weren't going to take me. I mean, they're not against it, but they like to eat Wednesday nights, so I like to go to church. But the one thing like that helps me the most was friends. Like, it's not fun going to church if you have to sit alone. You don't want that. You can't have a relationship. Well, you can have a relationship with God by yourself, but it always helps to have people pushing you and people that you want to push. Not push around, but push. I had I've been to many churches. I've seen many different people. I went to a D now at a church in Kaufman, and I wasn't sure about it. I was like, I don't want to spend the whole weekend with people that I don't even know and some old people that are going to teach us. So I was like, I don't know. But I went anyway. And I thought it was going to be like band camp, or like you go and you play your music, and then after you play your music, you just do whatever you want, have fun, you know. But it was different. It was like God all the time. And like, there was no like hypocritical people that were like, they'd say something in the group, and then they'd go do something different, and that really bothers me. I was actually I actually met all the people that were in my band. I'm not in a band anymore, but we played a bunch of shows around Dallas and Deep Ellum and Fort Worth, and it was a metal band. We screamed about God. It was awesome. We played with other metal Christian bands, but I met all of those people, all from different churches. And maybe if I hadn't gone to a different church, I wouldn't have found them. But like, music connected me. Like, if I wasn't in band, I wouldn't have met like Parker and Aaron, and I probably wouldn't be going here. Because Aaron was in drumline, and Parker was in a rock band. But I never talked to Aaron really, because I just didn't. And like, I kind of clicked with Parker. And so Parker like encouraged me to come here. And now they're leaving, and it's sad. And like, of course I'm gonna still come here. I mean, I love all of you. You're all special to me in a way. But like, Parker's leaving and Aaron's leaving, but I'm connected with those two musically, and music connects me to God. I don't know if some of y'all sometimes, I know Miss Shumpert told me that she sometimes stares at me while I worship. But even though like those two people that like brought me here are leaving, they didn't bring me here to like, oh, well, when we leave, you have to leave too. No, they brought me here to say, like, we're bringing you here so you can learn, grow up. And like, I got saved on May 2nd of 2010, and it was the craziest day of my life. It was awesome. I got baptized with my glasses on. I didn't know if I was supposed to take them off. I wanted them to be saved too. But being born again was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I didn't really have like a bad life before then, but I'm about 10 times, 20 times, 1,000 times happier than I was before. And I was really happy before, but I always have a smile on my face. When something happens, it's like awful, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. It's awful, it's bad, I don't want to deal with this. I just think of the positive things in life. Like, one of my friends got in a car wreck, but they're perfectly okay. But they ran into my mailbox. And I would be like, it's not okay. Because I have to walk out and get the mail every day. But now for a few days I can't, because you ran over my mailbox. And I'd be mad. But I just think of the good things in life. Like, I have 2 parents, sister, I have shelter. I have friends to help me through things like that, even though that's not a big deal, but still. Basically what I'm saying is, like, your friends help you through the tough times and the not so tough times, because they're your friends. And, when these two leave, I'll, play music with Cody. Because, I play music with him now. So, still play music when they leave. I play music with them all the time. Parker was actually the singer in my metal band. He's good. Yeah, Parker is not much of a screamer. You can kind of tell. But he's a wonderful singer. Anyway, but without friends, I wouldn't be at a church. I would be at home watching Netflix or playing Xbox or jumping on my pogo stick. But coming to church, I am serious. But I'm glad that's not how it happened, because this is better than any pogo stick or Xbox. And the people surrounding me with love is just so amazing. It's the best feeling in the world. And like, my relationship with God is probably not at its best right now as it was. I mean, I'm just, like, I'm not doing anything bad, but I'm just not into it as much as I used to be. And like, I want to get back on track, but sometimes it's just hard. You have to make yourself want to go to church. I mean, but even then, going to church isn't going to like make you have a relationship with God. You can go and not get anything. That's happened to me before. I've come to church and sat there and then left. You want it. If you want something, you have to get it. But you can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. I've tried. You can't achieve happiness by yourself, unless you're rich. But you can't achieve true happiness by yourself, even if you are rich. Because true happiness, you can find that here. You don't find it anywhere else. I'll tell you that. You can't find that anywhere else. I mean, you can look for it, but you won't find it. But I'm just happy to be here. You make me happy. All of you do. I don't know all of you, but I will.
To say. Guys, I'm really proud of you. It takes a lot to stand up in front of your peers and share. And for some of you, it's a lot of deep, heavy stuff. Some of it's a lot of hard background kind of things that you're like, wait, it's kind of like picking a scab emotionally. And man, I think that's neat. That takes a lot of strength to do that. And it's something that God's been able to allow me to do over the last 17 years of being in the student ministry. If the more transparent I am, the more real I am, then God has an opportunity to use those things. And when you have scars, and when you have bumps, and you have bruises, and you have mistakes, and you have times where you're gone, and you have times where you come back, those are the times that you celebrate. And those are the times like now where you've got friends and family and people around you that are celebrating with you because of what God has done. So no matter what scar you have, it's evidence of healing. It's not evidence necessarily of a hurt, but evidence of healing. And so when you have different things that go on in your life, you have that scar, and you can go back and look at that scar. It's evidence that God has done something in your life. And I know for all of you that there are things in your life right now that you're like, well, I don't have a story like him, or I don't have a story like her. Your story is your story. It's God's story working in you. And 1 John says this, is that these things that I've heard and I've seen and I've felt, these are the things that I testify of. It means whatever you've seen God do, that's the things that you have the right, the ability, and the power to be able to go walk onto your campus, your friendships, wherever you go, and be able to testify to those things. And so guys,